was happening for a second. But now I'm okay, so that's great. So my family, we took a lot of road trips when I was a kiddo to Texas and back home to Louisiana, because I have a lot of family in Texas. So I endured that drive a lot, and it's like 6 to 8 hours, depending. And so when we felt like we needed a break from the interstate, that life, and we had a couple hours, we just wanted to settle down somewhere, we would go to a place called Cracker Barrel, which is an iconically American place, because picture like an interstate, you know, like Cars, it's 2018, that kind of style, and then right off the interstate is a large log cabin with rocking chairs, and like you walk in and it smells like Christmas all year. It's like so strange. A giant log cabin in the middle of nowhere, or a city. So like we go in and there's like, it's like a country store and then also a restaurant. So it's nothing fancy. So when I was 11 years old, we went into Cracker Barrel and they had this new side menu to help America out. It was a healthy menu and then a normal menu. So I decided to get my main from the normal menu and my side from the healthy menu. Yes, winning. And so my side was, quote, fresh apple slices, TM, quote. So I got those fresh apple slices, you know. So my waitress comes out with my whole family's meal, and everything came out but my, quote, fresh apple slices, TM, quote. And she was like, don't worry, I'm coming back with them. And I was like, okay, I'm 11, so I don't really care that much, but it's okay. And so we're eating and it's fine. I've kind of forgotten about the apples, but she comes by every 10 minutes a little bit more deranged. She's like, they're coming. I haven't found them yet, but they're coming. It's like, okay. And so we're eating and it's fine. I start to match her anxiety though, because she comes around and I'm like, what's gonna happen? And she's like, I haven't forgotten. But they're coming. I was like, okay. So like 30 minutes into the meal, she's like, okay, I got it. So we're out of the packaged fresh apple slices. TM quote. So I found an apple and I cut it up. I'm so sorry. And I was like, it's fine. That's technically what I ordered. And she was like, I'm so sorry they weren't the practice flag. I'm so confused at her anxiety. I was like, okay, cool. So like, I don't know, we can analyze this in a couple ways. It took her a long time to put it together that she could just get an apple and cut it up. It took her a long time. And also, she was very concerned at my happiness, but too much so. I'm just 11. I'm not even paying for the meal. But she was very concerned. I was always confused at this until I became a waitress. Years later. During my gap year, that's all I did. I just waited at this like local, not fancy pizzeria called Reginelli's, and it was fine. And I had some regular customers. I had this one guy, this sweet old man, his name was Arthur. He was so cute. He came in every week with like a new friend. And he'd always introduce me to, I know it sounds sketch. Every time I've rehearsed it, I was like, how do I make that not sound weird? And it's never worked. Oh well, so a different friend, every week, and he'd always introduce me. He'd be like, this is Alice. She's gonna be our server. And I was like, oh my God, you're so cute. Oh my God. And he'd always order the lunch special, half tomato basil, half some vegetarian sandwich. He'd switch it up. And then he'd always go, near dessert, he'd be like, oh, I shouldn't. I'm gonna get the tiramisu. And I'm like, I knew you were. So it was my last day at Reginelli's, right before I moved to England for first year, so a long time ago. It was my very last shift. And I wasn't gonna tell any customers it was my last day, but Arthur came in and I was like, no. I was like, Arthur, no. And so, and when I was like, hey, Arthur, he's like, this is Alice. I was like, hello, I'm Alice. It's my last day. And he was like, oh. I was like, oh, I don't want to hurt Arthur. Oh my God. Oh my God. And then I take his order and I go in the back just to check if there's tiramisu, and you'll never guess what. There was no tiramisu. And I was like, oh my God, what do I do? So I was like, oh shit, we have chocolate cake. Okay. So I went up to the end and he's like, oh Alice, I'm so sad you're leaving. And I was like, I know. We don't have any tiramisu. But it was chocolate cake. It's not as good, but please order that. Please order that. And he was like, I will. And it was great. And as he was leaving, after he paid his bill, I was sweeping up. And I gave a little bye. And he was like, Alice, come here. And I was like, oh, yes, Arthur, what is, hello. And he was like, I'm very disappointed in your service, actually. I expected better from you. You've waited me so many times, and you know I love that tiramisu, but you didn't even discount the cake. If I have to pay for it at all, at least make it discounted. I was like, oh. I'm sorry. And then he left. So I understand why she was so stressed now. Thank you.